Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for the first death battle of 2025. We have Kratos versus Asura. Now, as I should say with all death battle reactions, please click the link in the description to go watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. So, how do I know these characters? Well, not as well as you might think. I know Kratos has been in a death battle before, but that was like early season 1, so it's age shows, I'll just say that. Like, yeah. But I do remember like a good few things from it. Whether or not it holds up like here, that remains to be seen. But I have heard like bits and pieces here and there, especially leading up to this. Whereas for Asura, I've always like seen Asura's Wrath be talked about, but I've never really, like, I'll be honest, I've never played either game. So yeah, that's where a majority of my knowledge comes from, just seeing it like here and there. Like, I know the boss fight where there's that like really giant dude who's like just poking the, well, okay, he's basically just trying to flat Asura with his finger, and this guy's like as big as a star. And Asura, like, punches him so repeatedly, he, like, destroys the finger, which goes up his arm and then all the way to the rest of his body and just kills him. So, that's nuts. And from what I hear, isn't that, like, the first boss of the game? So, it only escalates up from there. So, yeah, I admittedly don't know the characters as well as you might think. But if I had to say who I think is gonna win, I'm gonna lean towards Kratos, just on the basis that he has more games, and therefore, like, you know, a bigger arsenal and just, like, more stuff to pull from. However, that doesn't always guarantee victory. Like, I know there are other death battles where, like, the character who has a way longer history does end up losing. So, hey, Asura could pull it out. And because of that, I will admit I don't really have much of a horse in this race. Like, if either one of them wins, I'm cool with it. I really just want a cool fight, and from what I've heard from, well, not from, like, directly, but I've seen him post about it, Devil Artemis, who's the animator, has just gone nuts with this. Like, when Torian did, like, Dante vs. Bayo, it just, like, kept going and going and going because he wanted to do more and more. Essentially, this is Devil Artemis' Dante vs. Bayo. So, I'm really looking forward to the fight. So, with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and watch the premiere. Alright, let's do it. Fight! There we are.
Kratos versus Asura.
The Ghost of Sparta versus the Wrathful Destructor. Cause sometimes you just want to punch a god in the face. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. There we go. Let's go.
The Primordials waged war across existence. A series of cosmic clashes that birthed the universe.
Boom! Now that's what I call a big bang.
From Ceto's death, the
Boom!
ocean
Now everything
From
exists.
Uranus' strikes, the stars were spawned, and so forth. Thus, the world itself was born from violence.
Starting the whole messy cycle, Uranus was overthrown by his Titan son, Kronos, who was overthrown by his Olympian son, Zeus, who battled his own son, Kratos.
A lot of, like, screw you, dad, going on.
Among Spartan mortals, far exceeding all among him. He
Wait, this,
became
like,
a
selfish
great
guy's
warrior
citing
with many
puzzles.
talents.
Sackboy, don't want to talk about it.
Ruthless barbarian.
Ares, destroy these guys who are kicking my ass, and my life is yours. A deal was made, and Kratos was joined at the bone with the Blades of Chaos.
I assume the Sackboy thing was a PlayStation All-Stars.
But Ares had a scheme. While doing work for his god, Kratos accidentally murdered his own family, permanently marked by the ashes of his
Yikes.
wife and daughter. He was, forevermore, the Ghost of Sparta.
So, he was kinda understandably really pissed off. Time for a new
Yeah.
God of War. The gods were crapping their togas in fear as the new god of war took out his rage on all of them. And got some new gear out of it, too.
With Poseidon's trident and Icarus's
That's a lot of weapons.
both sea and sky. He also has a tendency to carry powerful severed heads, like Medusa's.
And the claws of
Okay.
Hades could steal souls, even the soul of
steal
Hades
souls.
himself. Should have thought that one through, man.
Neither Perseus or
Yeah, you'd
Hercules
think.
were a match for Kratos, nor was Helios, the sun god capable of moving stars and spreading light across the entire underworld.
He fought Atlas, the Titan of Strength, who broke the load-bearing pillar of the universe. So Kratos forced him to hold up the cosmos on his own instead.
And he can do it with just one hand, according to the novelization.
Even his grandpappy Kronos failed to stop him. You know, the guy who overthrew the primordial that punched the universe into existence?
Causing shockwaves
Jesus.
over a quadrillion times faster than light. A frankly
Okay, so quadrillions of times
Then
faster,
there's
right?
Daddy Zeus.
who proved a serious challenge until Kratos drew perhaps his ultimate weapon. the
Blade of Olympus?
Of Olympus.
There we go.
It can
I remember
make
this sword.
Lightning, force fields. Oh, and it can stab the hell out of you. It siphons godly energy and can pull enough to even kill Zeus.
Okay,
that's
siphons
fun.
godly energy.
Even while Kratos ultimately released hope across the Greek world, he could only do so after annihilating everything.
Like a badass, he was unstoppable. Non-stop killing and sex and even more killing. And yet, he couldn't be any more depressed.
His wife and daughter were still gone. What was he to do?
He didn't know. He wandered aimlessly for years, somehow stumbling into Norse mythology.
Yeah,
where he
there it
met
is.
Faye, his second wife. Good start, buddy.
Kratos had a new lease on life, but he could not escape his past mistakes.
There's a reason he hid his swords in a dingy basement. Even so, Faye insisted he could do better. So he became a dad to a new boy.
Easily the
Boy!
darkest path he ever undertook.
I always saw that,
Faye,
like, around.
unfortunately, died of a mysterious illness.
Damn it, not again! But hey, it wasn't Kratos' fault this time, and Faye left the tools he'd need to keep the boy safe, including the Leviathan axe.
Please just say it that way every time,
The
Boomstick.
chaos, the Leviathan axe was deliberate and mighty, said to rival Mjolnir itself.
Thor wishes Mjolnir was as cool as this axe. It's imbued with ice magic and a poison even the gods fear. It can be summoned to Kratos' hand from a distance, and it even shatters souls.
Kratos may have once been a
Jesus.
sword of vengeance, but with his new weapons and a new purpose, he stood as a shield against the godly Asir.
Too bad he just can't help but get in trouble with gods. But now he knew how to control his anger.
Which is even more important than it sounds. Kratos' Spartan rage summons an inner strength with magical properties.
He can even get so pissed off that he straight up heals himself. That seems
Huh.
like the opposite of what should happen.
Not all anger is problematic, and Kratos wields plenty of new weapons and relics to channel his rage through.
Like the Dropnir ring, which can summon a bunch of wind spears. They can absorb all types of energy and blast it back.
Energy absorption,
He even has
okay.
relics and magic that can warp space and slow down time.
Naturally, he contested with the strongest of the Norse gods, including the god of thunder Thor, who was powerful enough to fight the fire giant Surtur and the world serpent Jormungandr at the same time.
Oh, and
Jesus.
that fire giant would be the cause of actual Ragnarok. You can't defeat me, Thor. I know, but he can.
Well, not
Nice.
exactly. Freyr, the rain god, held off Ragnarok for a considerable time on his own, and the sheer power of Ragnarok shook Yggdrasil down to its very roots.
That's the world tree, which is like the literal
Okay.
thread that connects the whole universe.
According to Freya, the tree's very existence supports all of creation among its boughs. Every strand transcending time, transcending space. Everything comes back to the tree.
So it's kind of like Kratos lives in a really, really, really big treehouse.
In his quest to free the Norse world, Kratos reclaimed old weapons by reckoning with his past sins, even taking up the Blade of Olympus once again.
Even better, he actually got to be a decent dad. And now the boy is a man and also a bear.
Kratos made a lifetime of mistakes, but this future would be different. He'd be more than he was in the past. Not just a god of war, but a leader, a father, and a defender. A god of hope.
Okay, that was a really good way of ending Kratos' analysis. Alright, so it sounds like Kratos is definitely, like, at least capped at Universal. quadrillions of times faster than light, energy absorption, can siphon godly power, destroy souls in multiple ways. So, all stuff to keep in mind. And anyway, time for Asura.
Long ago, a demigod fell from the heavens, only to rise from the depths of Naraka after 12,000 years.
After 12,000 years, he's free to punch everything dumb enough to get in his way. He was the demigod of wrath, Asura.
Alongside 7 other demigod generals, Asura served as a defender of humanity.
Put him in Marvel vs. Capcom!
Dark spirit monsters infest.
Yeah, why is he not in there? That's weird.
Battled the Goma by wielding a mystic energy formed from human prayer.
Family.
By combining technology with mantra, the Guardian Generals became essentially hyper-powerful mystic cyborgs. They could each harness mantra through a different emotional affinity. For August, it was greed. For Yasha, it was melancholy.
I'll give you one chance to guess what Asura's is.
By tapping into his wrath, Asura
Oh,
can take many forms for
gonna
battle,
guess joy.
like the 6-armed Vajra, a state powerful enough to subdue the embodiment of the planet's will and the source of the Goma, Vlitra.
But he wasn't angry enough to put Goma Vlitra down for good. At least not yet. Of course, since
alright.
he's literally powered by wrath, no enemy of Asura's would be stupid enough to do something that would make him even more mad, right? Right?
Funny you should say.
Good use.
Ah, damn it.
Good use
First
of that
off,
clip.
Asura is not some one-dimensional anger machine. In myth, the Asuras were powerful and aggressive beings, sure, but not inherently evil, just like Asura himself. He's a warrior, but also a husband with a daughter, Mithra,
And Mithra has the unique power to
Yeah.
supercharge mantra energy.
which gave Asura's
Oh, that
prideful
helps.
commander Deus an idea. If he could weaponize Mithra, literally wiring her up to a super weapon, the Guardian Generals could maybe finally end Goma Vlitra for good.
That's messed up.
Obviously, Asura wasn't gonna go along with that. So
Good on him.
Framed Asura for killing the Emperor, murdered his wife, kidnapped Mithra, and then just straight up killed him.
Bastards.
But true to his nature, Asura was literally too angry to die. So long as a single part of his body remains and can possess mantra, he can climb back out of Naraka, a sort of limbo underworld between life and death. Thanks to some coaxing from
Okay.
a strange golden spider, he did just that, with an all-new purpose in mind.
Make the gods pay! Oh yeah, they're calling themselves gods now. Turns out they're all assholes who started sacrificing thousands of innocent people to try to power up. So Asura got really pissed off.
And through his rage,
I don't blame him.
power exploded, rising enough to throw giants like ragdolls, shatter whole moons, and destroy a fellow deity, Wyzen.
Who
Oh,
could
this was the
destroy
guy.
Planet and wreck it with just a finger. Look at this.
Asura is so
I'm surprised they didn't,
powerful,
like,
cannot
pull
be
up the
manipulated by the Goma or
Scooby
the
Courage
deities.
clip,
He
but,
can propel
well,
himself with
we'll
mantra
kill
to
the mood.
fly, harden his fist to break steel, fire explosive energy blasts.
And headbutt you so hard you wish you could die even faster. The dude literally stockpiles anger into a burst of energy that can one-shot even the toughest of foes. And when he goes unlimited mode, he can rapid-fire those super attacks without overheating.
Asura's vengeance quest wasn't all shouting and explosions, though. I mean, it was a lot of that, but he also tried
Fair
to
enough.
protect people
Sounds like
from
DBZ.
gods, including a girl who very much reminded him of his own daughter.
Yeah, Asura's the kind of guy who wants to be a great dad, but all he knows how to do is punch anything that upsets his kid. Like that one dad that knocks out a ref at a Little League game.
And then the gods killed that girl too, along with her whole village.
Jesus
Marking Asura
Christ.
to unleash his berserker aura.
You know how the gods were sacrificing thousands of people to power up? Well, Asura got so freaking angry, he built up enough mantra to match them, even though they've been building up energy for thousands of years. Seriously,
Huh.
guys, you're pissing off the guy who literally gets more powerful the angrier he gets. What did you think was gonna happen?
Yet
Yeah,
even
not a
in
good idea.
Berserker mode, Asura never lost total control.
Berserker Asura adds even more extra arms, and they're big and glowy now. The man can launch so much angry mantra, he wiped out the god's whole space fleet in seconds.
Asura's
Jesus.
anger raised to levels so high even he couldn't contain it, scorching him into his wrath form.
Even though it hurts Asura while he's in it, this form is still perfect for absolutely shit-stomping a snobby demigod's face in. It's okay, though. His brother-in-law punched the edge out of him.
Yasha saw the error of the deity's senseless sacrifices and teamed up with Asura for a coup against Deus.
Awesome. They're bros again.
Aw.
Just in time for Asura to
I have a
hit
feeling he's gonna
Overboss
die.
with so much mantra that he burst. Then dive into the planet's core to obtain power equal to 1,000 arms. His mantra form. Finally, a power capable of killing Vlitra in a big planet-busting blast.
Deus was defeated and Gaia was saved. Yet, Asura's wrath hadn't been quelled.
Title drop.
Turns out that spider
Nice.
that guided him was actually Chakravartin, the creator of mantra and the entire universe.
And everyone
Wait,
saw
what?
it was part of his plan to make Asura his heir. Chakra kidnapped Mithra, because of course he did, and tested Asura in the form of a massive golden Buddha statue. Check out the size of it. That thing can literally hold a galaxy in its palm. Naturally, Asura the statue through hands.
Enter the mantra reactor. Capable of holding 7 trillion souls, Asura instead used it as a vessel for a far greater power.
Oh my
His
god.
own unfiltered rage. At last, Asura could show the world his real colors.
Everyone from the humans to the
Dude, this
sentients
game
to
looks
Chakravartin
nuts.
saw Asura's anger as a weapon, a sword for tyranny, when that was never who he was. His rage was really a shield to protect humanity, and most of all, his daughter.
A shield larger than a planet. Unbound by his past limits, Asura's ultimate destructor form effortlessly punched through asteroids larger than nebulas, dodged planet-sized lasers moving 2 quadrillion times faster than light, and obliterated whole stars.
Chakravartin was
Okay.
impressed and offered Asura a chance to take his place. Asura smiled at the offer and extended his arm.
Right into Chakra.
Okay, I was wondering.
As if he was gonna let some god trample over more worlds. Instead, he literally beat the QTEs out of God, obliterating him and his plans in a cosmic explosion.
But with Chakravartin dead, so was the concept of mantra itself.
Oh,
Those
so
who
that
depended on it could not survive,
killed him.
including Asura.
Hey, as long as Mithra was fine, it was worth it. Besides,
Aw.
reincarnate millions of years later, still kicking
Oh.
ass, ready to smack a random thug, a meteor, or Ryu, right in the balls.
Oh.
The dangers of uncontrolled anger. Asura's wrath gave him the power to save everything, all because of just one thing.
Some bastard made his daughter cry, so they had to pay. Now that's a god I can get behind.
Hell yeah. Okay. This is harder than I thought would be to decide. So they're both universal, both can move like quadrillions of times faster than light based on everything that was said. The thing is, like, Asura, like, from what they've said, it sounds like he can just, like, come back. By, like, crawling out of the underworld, like, if he ever dies. So, like, if a piece of him, like, still has mantra, then he can just, you know, continue the fight. However, Kratos has ways that he could perhaps even, like, absorb it. And also he has weapons that can target souls. So, I'm thinking based on that, I'm leaning more towards Kratos. But again, if Asura wins, I'm cool with that too. But with that being said, play.
All
Right, the combatants are set. We've run the... Wait, why am I doing this? I've already synced up.
It's time for a dance.
I mean, it's also just fun to say, like, beforehand. Alright, fight time. I can't believe it's been almost a year since this preview was shown. I remember Devil Armus, like, posted this, like, to hype up the fight, like, back when the Kickstarter was going. Sup? Imagine. Well, this is pretty.
Not for long. You do not want this fight.
Alright, let's go. Jesus Christ, Guerrero! Oh my god. Literally. You put the QTEs in. Oh, I know, like, all the subtitles, like... That's cool. Jesus.
You let your wrath consume you. I have been down that road before.
Ooh.
Very well.
God damn. That's a lot of arms. He's coming back. Okay, I will admit, part of me's hoping Asura wins just because, like, don't kill him in front of his daughter. Also, goddamn, you made her cry line. My god. I feel like I'm saying that a lot.
This is not my end!
That line in particular, I remember loving that in the preview. Oh, oh my god. Oh, was Kratos gonna do to him what he did to that boss in his own game? Oh my god, he is! That's awesome!
Death has not earned me yet, Titan!
It's a good line.
But you deserve a worthy end!
Literally just hopping between asteroids. And siphon the mantra through the Blade of Olympus.
You are a monster no longer. I never was.
Okay, the way he got up, I was like, wait, is he gonna, like, come back? But, nah, he's dead. Kratos wins. Aww. Well, that's a sad way to end it.
Well, I guess Asura's wrath really is gone. But are we sure this is how it'd go? Even though Asura can blow up stars?
Asura had some amazing displays of apocalyptic destruction, but the full scope of their speed, experience, versatility, and power sheds a surprising light.
At first glance, speed seems like a shoe-in
Okay.
for Asura. Kratos is quick, but he never dodged a universe-crossing laser.
That doesn't mean he couldn't. Remember, as usual, we look at these characters at their peak, free from gameplay restrictions.
Yeah, we're looking at everything in canon, and Kratos fought and killed Helios, the sun god.
From the moment he's introduced, Helios is emphasized to be immensely powerful. Without Helios, darkness would shroud everything. His light was fast enough to illuminate the entire underworld while Kratos sailed through it.
Oh.
A few hours at most.
So, kinda hard to quantify, but that's consistent with the shockwaves the primordials caused that spawned the universe.
Arguments could be made for which is faster, the primordial shockwaves or Chakravartin's intergalactic lasers. Since it's so close, it's safest to assume their speeds
Tie.
are generally even.
Okay.
But what does speed matter if you don't know how to use it? Let's cover experience. Asura lived across centuries, obviously a lot longer than Kratos.
And while Kratos eventually learned to control his rage, Asura pretty much always had that control.
So Asura
Okay.
easily takes experience. But when it
Fair.
comes to versatility,
Oh, Kratos.
he match all the weapons and abilities Kratos had.
Sure, Asura's quite skilled and a monster at martial arts, but his fighting style mostly relies on one thing.
Punching.
A whole lot of punching.
Kratos' weapons, magic, runes, relics, and even his rage gave him far more options in combat, slowing down time, healing injuries, and most importantly, multiple weapons that could drain a variety of energy.
There we go.
Like Mantra.
Yeah, when Asura loses all his mantra energy, that's it for him. So the Dropnir spears and the Blade of Olympus gave Kratos exactly what he needed. Versatility, and multiple ways to finish this for good before Asura just comes crawling back out of the underworld.
If he could, Asura's resurrections take years or whole centuries. Days at
Oh,
best.
yeah.
But all this assumes Kratos could match Asura's crazy strength. All roads lead to power, which should go to Asura, right? Look at what he can do! If this came down to who made the bigger kaboom, he'd kick Kratos' ass in 2 seconds.
But a closer examination of their feats reveals the truth.
At his peak, Asura overpowered Chakravartin, annihilating that cosmic golden god.
By measuring the dimensions of Chakravartin's body and scaling it up to match the size
Oh my
of this
God.
galaxy-eclipsing statue, we can determine its volume.
I could
Adding
never
its
do
gold,
this.
for good measure, assuming the form is solid throughout, and its mass far exceeds not just our galaxy, but our entire observable universe.
Jesus Christ.
The golden god would need energy on par with obliterating our universe 91,000 times.
Extremely impressive and unfathomable. However, the same idea applies to Ragnarok shaking the roots of Yggdrasil.
Ragnarok is obviously a bit of a different beast than Kratos, but what really matters is what Freyr did.
Right, Freyr, a god comparable to Kratos, held back Ragnarok's power for a significant time.
So Kratos should be capable of the same level of power, or even more.
Using an official map and knowing the world tree's branches encompass all of existence, we can measure its size and volume.
And we know this map is accurate because it shows these two realms conjoined, which we see in game.
Even if we assume the Tree of the Realms is only 1% solid, a significant lowball that Kratos should easily scale above, shaking such an incomprehensibly large structure would require enough force to destroy our universe's mass energy 9 million times over.
Fucking hell.
Times greater than Chakravartin's destruction. And this isn't some one-off outlier. I mean, a realm-shattering supergiant doesn't sound too different from the other Titans and Olympians Kratos defeated.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's easy to think that we never see Kratos do anything that matches Asura, but we do. Helios' speed matches Chakravartin, and Kratos outsped him. Atlas is strong enough to lift all of reality, and Kratos overpowered him. Kronos defeated the creator of the universe in a one-on-one fight, same as Asura.
And Kratos beat him.
Killed Kronos. Add in the clear numerical comparison of Chakravartin, Ragnarok, and Yggdrasil, and Kratos takes the edge in power.
But hey, Capcom, if you give us Asura's Wrath too, we'll try this again.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Whereas the sun rises, the god of wrath was Kratos.
The winner is Kratos.
Congrats, Kratos.
But what if?
Wait, what? Wait, is this just an old ending where Asura wins? Okay, that's sweet and all, but I don't know how I feel about, like, alternate endings, like, being a thing for Death Battle.
That concludes my pitch for Asura's Wrath 2. The end.
Oh, okay, that's where we're going with it, fair enough. Ghost Rider vs. Spawn! I know about this, like, beforehand, because it was, like, revealed at MagFest.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Hey. Well, that was a crazy start to the year. I do want to get this out of the way. Wasn't too sure how I felt about, like, alternate endings, like, now being, well, potentially being a thing for Death Battle. But if it's, like, just, like, say, just, like, an occasional joke, like, how it was presented here, like, that's my pitch for Asura's Wrath 2. Then, okay, maybe, but I'm not down for that for every episode. I don't know, just don't feel right to me. Although, then again, maybe, like, it was just something that Devil really, really wanted to do, so they were just like, yeah, sure. Which is fair enough. But anyway, it's just a me thing. As for this episode, holy crap, that was awesome. Just like, okay, I really like how the analysis, like, painted both Kratos and Asura. But that fight was just bonkers. Like, especially, like, near the end where it was just, like, Asura, like, that massive, and Kratos, like, hopping between asteroids to, like, stab him in the head with the Blade of Olympus. Like, that was cool, and Christ, the maths to, like, figure out, okay, here's how big this, like, this god was from Asura's Wrath, and now here's, like, us measuring Yggdrasil. Like, fucking hell. Like, stuff like this is why I couldn't, like, research, like, matchups like this, because, like, I wouldn't know where to start, like, with measuring something like that. So the fact that the Death Battle research team can do this kind of thing, it just gives me so much more respect for them. Like, holy crap, I would not be able to do that even if you were paying me. Like, at best, all I could really do is just, like, list, like, their feats, like, arsenals and, like, various things, and, I don't know, maybe just beg one of the other members to, like, hey, can you calc this for me? But, holy crap, that was cool. It probably would have meant, like, a whole lot more to me if I, like, was, like, into the games, like, going into it. So, I can only imagine how much, like, God of War fans and Asura's Wrath fans were, like, losing their minds watching this. And if that's the case, I'm really happy for them. Although, like, I do appreciate, like, some of the stuff, like, especially in Asura's analysis, when they put him in Marvel vs. Capcom. Like, I don't even play Marvel vs. Capcom, but I'm just here like, why was he never in that game? Like, why? Like, it is just criminal. Also, funny enough that we got Kratos, and now we're getting his original opponent, Spawn, versus Ghost Rider. Oh boy, I have, like, no idea who I think is gonna win that. Just due to familiarity, I want to say I'm rooting for Ghost Rider, but I don't know, like, for sure what Spawn is capable of. Like, I know he's very, very powerful, and I know Ghost Rider is powerful as well, but if I were just to go off of, like, previous Death Battles, it would not paint them justice. Not even Ghost Riders, which is more recent. But I can only imagine just how much, like like they're gonna like upscale like Ghost Rider's power, because like they've said before, like Doctor Strange can like reset the multiverse or maybe even beyond that, and he's terrified of Zarathos' full potential. And Zarathos is equal to Mephisto, who fought Galactus to a standstill, and we know from the finale of Season 10 how powerful Galactus is. But I've also heard this fight's, like, really debatable, or, like, I've heard some people say, like, oh, Spawn stomps. But given the source, I really don't trust it, so I remain skeptical. But, I am intrigued to see how that goes. Also, the first Marvel combatant we've had since, well, Galactus, but for some reason I forgot he was from Marvel for a second. I was about to say, like, Silver Surfer. Yeah, we've not had Marvel or DC for quite some time. But, I mean, it was obviously going to come back around again eventually. Alright, well, I am going to wrap up this recording. Thank you for watching, all that stuff, and if you're just here for my Death Battle reactions, then I'll see you for Ghost Rider vs. Spawn. If you're here for anything else I do, I'll keep you posted. I guess I don't actually do a schedule. I just kind of do things when I see it in my pants. But point is, I'll see you later. Bye.